I just got off the first training inside the Trust with Trigger Foods program, and I started off the call by saying it's going to be a short call, and it ended up being an hour and 20 minutes, and it was really awesome. I got to bring up some clients and do a deep dive into their personal trigger foods and what is triggering for them and support them in this process. But something that I want to talk about here is I know it can be so terrifying to think about trusting yourself around trigger foods, because maybe you have already so much belief that you can't be trusted. You can't just have one. As soon as you have one, you have two, you spiral out of control. You can't be trusted around it. And maybe you've tried to tell your partner, like, don't even bother buying it. Maybe you tried to not buy the food. And it can feel so scary to build a different relationship with this food. I remember being just so terrified because I thought to myself, if I'm already out of control with food and I'm already so uncomfortable in my own skin and I don't want to put on any more weight, I am so uncomfortable, why would I actually allow myself to eat this food? And I was terrified. But something that really helped me was thinking about how this was really impacting my life. Because your relationship with food is not just impacting how much you're eating. Your relationship with food is impacting how you show up as a mom. It's impacting how you show up in your relationship. It's impacting how you show up in your career. It's impacting your confidence and your worthiness. I remember feeling like I was living this double life when I was just binge eating and overeating on these foods. It literally feels like you're living a double life because it's like you are eating this food in such an uncontrolled way, spiraling so far out of control. And you're constantly thinking about, oh my God, why did I eat so much? You're feeling so shameful and bloated and guilty. And then you show up to work and you have to almost put on this facade so that nobody knows that you struggle with food. And it feels like this complete disconnect. I call it a double life because on the inside, you feel so shameful, so disgusting, so, oh, I can't believe I just ate that much. And everybody else sees you as you're so smart, you're so dedicated, you have so much willpower, you're so good at your job, you're this amazing mom, you're so organized, and you can't even celebrate how good you are at your job or how amazing you are as a mom. You don't even feel that way because you feel the shame of how much you're eating. I know so many of you guys are incredible moms and you do so much for your family or you excel in your career, but you can't even celebrate that. You don't even see how much you're doing in a day because all you're thinking about is, I shouldn't have eaten that. I'm so uncomfortable in my own skin. I have no control around food. And it's hard to feel confident when all you're thinking about is how much you ate. It's hard to be proud of yourself when you're going to bed every single night feeling so bloated, so guilty. Why did I do that yet again? Feel like I failed. You know what? I have to do better tomorrow. It's hard to feel proud of yourself. It's hard to love yourself. It's hard to celebrate yourself when you're constantly feeling so much shame, and that shame carries with you in your relationship, in your job, as a mom. I used to be in the worst mood ever. I'd be on date night with my boyfriend at the time, and I was just sitting there, not even happy because of how much I ate and how uncomfortable I felt. And that's not fair to you, me, but it's also not fair to our partners. And for those of you guys who have children and a family, it impacts all of your relationships. And something that helped me so much with wanting to do this work to have a healthier relationship with all foods and really to just be neutral, around these foods was recognizing that what was scarier than just actually allowing myself to eat the chocolate was thinking about struggling with my relationship with food for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Bringing this struggle onto my kid one day. Thinking about how this was impacting my relationship. Thinking about how every time I go on vacation, it's always like I'm on high alert, wondering, am I going to overeat? And am I going to have to come home from vacation and start all over again? The fear that you feel right now when it comes to trigger foods and chocolate and bread or chocolate chip cookies, it's so real. But what's even scarier is that food having power over you for the rest of your life. That food controlling how much you're eating, not you. It's like someone else is driving your behaviors with food. I felt like someone took like a remote control and was like eating for me. That was scarier than just actually allowing myself to actually eat the food. So I know it can be scary. And, the reason I created this program, the Trust with Trigger Foods program, is because I know it's not just about the food. It's not just about the bread. It's not just about the cookies or the chocolate chips. It is about what that food is doing to you, how it's impacting your mood, how you're talking to yourself. There's so much negative self-talk, like, oh, I shouldn't have eaten that. You have no control. What's wrong with you? Why can other people eat a few cookies and move on with their day? Hey, Brittany. And you have no control. What's wrong with you? You're a pig. You're disgusting. You ate so much. Like all of that negative self-talk, you don't deserve that. It's impacting how you feel about yourself, your confidence, your relationships. And food doesn't have to have so much power over you. You were not put on this planet to be spending all day stressing about food, overthinking food, letting your urges control how much you eat, planning what you're going to eat tomorrow based off of what you ate today, constantly thinking about how you're going to make up for that. That is exhausting. And when I thought about continuing to have these exhausting thoughts run through my mind, I knew I needed to make a change. And as scary as it was to start to build up trust around food, and especially more of these trigger foods, as scary as that was, I knew it was much scarier to spend the rest of my life with these crazy food thoughts. To potentially think about like bringing this struggle onto a child of mine, that was really that was the line in the sand moment for me where I was like, I need to make a change. So you deserve to free up space in your brain, because constantly being on high alert over these foods, it's consuming so much of your mental energy in your brain space, and we already don't have a lot of capacity. There's so many things that we need to do on a daily basis around the house, for your job, and I'm sure you probably already feel overwhelmed. And then to be thinking about, should I have eaten that? When am I going to eat it? I don't know. Should I start? No, I can't even bake it because as soon as I bake them, I'm just going to eat them all. That's exhausting. And you get to free up so much space inside of your brain. And that's what I'm most excited about. When you can trust yourself around trigger foods, you're going to be able to have a few cookies and move on with your day like it was just like a normal thing. That's going to happen, but you're also going to have so much freed up space in your mind to be present with your loved ones, to be proud of yourself, to celebrate yourself, to go on vacation and enjoy it, to soak in the moment, to be there, to have laughs and memories with the people that you love the most, instead of constantly worrying about what you should have eaten, what you should have ate, shouldn't have eaten that. And you got to free up all that space inside of your mind to think about way more important things than what you should have and shouldn't have eaten. So that is what I'm most excited about. Again, on the first training today, we really talked about reframing your relationship with trigger foods, because again, it's not even about the food. It's about the meaning that you place on the food. We can look at two people who eat chocolate chip cookies. One person, they eat a few chocolate chip cookies and they make a tea and they move on with their night. It can even be like 8 o'clock at night. They're winding down. Yep, I feel like 2 chocolate chip cookies. They have a cup of tea and they move on. Someone else is like, why did I do that? I shouldn't have done that. Oh man, I shouldn't have even started. Well, now I'm going to finish the entire row. See, I have no control. I can't be trusted. So much food noise. They go to bed feeling bloated, so ashamed because they ended up eating so many cookies. They wake up the next morning so full of shame, so still full. And it's hard to show up at work with a smile on your face and actually do what you got to do because you're like, if only people knew, oh my God, if only people knew that I just ate so much. Like, that's so embarrassing. You get to change that. You got to wake up proud of yourself, feeling good in your body. You got to feel so damn good in your own skin, and you will feel so much better in your own skin when you actually build up trust around trigger foods. It's not about avoiding the trigger food. I've never felt better in my own skin, and I don't do a free-for-all. I don't eat whatever I want. I can eat chocolate when I want, but the reason I feel so good in my own skin is because I healed my relationship with chocolate. I actually don't want it that often. I love my sweets. Don't get me, I have a sweet tooth. I could eat something sweet every day if I wanted to, but it will be a little bit, and I just move on with my day. And that's the place that I want you to get at. To not have to restrict this food forever and not to spiral out of control. There is a happy medium where you can feel so neutral around this food. And as a result of trusting yourself around trigger foods, you're going to free up so much mental space inside of your brain to think about more important things. And that's the focus of this new program. So if you haven't yet joined us inside of the Trust with Trigger Foods program, I am so excited to guide you through this. We're working through things step by step by step so that you don't spiral out of control. Your nervous system feels safe. You're going to build safety in your body. So when you have this food, you don't spiral out of control. If you haven't yet joined us, you can message me Trigger Foods and I'll send you over the details. It's a 4-week program. Every single week, there's a new training. You can listen to it. There's a workbook that goes with it as well too. And there's going to be Q&As with me so we can actually, do a deep dive into what your trigger foods are and how it can support you in taking them off of a pedestal, neutralizing yourself around them, and actually being able to eat them without losing your mind and spiraling out of control. So thank you for being here. I know it can be scary, but when you have a process, it doesn't have to be scary. Today, one person came on the call. She's like, I didn't even know that it was a possibility for me to rebuild trust. Like, I didn't even think that it was possible for me to be able to just have a few cookies and move on with my day. And yes, it is possible. Even if every single time you've had cookies and you've lost control, when you repair your relationship with this food, you rewire your brain, you shift your association with this food, you create safety in the body before even eating this food, you will be that person that forgets that cookies are in the house, forgets that ice cream is in the house. You will be the person that can have a few cookies and just move on with your day, be so completely neutral with it. You are not different. You just need a different process. So thank you guys for being here. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you guys soon. Okay, bye guys.